Hi there, and welcome to this episode of Sitecore in 300 Seconds Plus. My name is Tom Puijman, and I'm a partner technical enablement manager at Sitecore in Singapore. Right, so in this episode, we will look at Sitecore CDP Experiences. So, first of all, I will take you through what exactly is the value of Sitecore CDP Experiences to have for optimizing your customer journey. And then I will show you what exactly is an experience, how can you use it, and what different types of experiences do we have. Furthermore, we will look at how you actually create one. So we will actually click through Sitecore CDP and see hands-on how you can actually create an experience, and how you can also publish the experience straight to your channels. And then we will also look at how you can actually measure the success of your experience and how you can align that to your digital KPIs. Right. So to start optimizing the customer journey, it is essential that you are centralizing the customer interaction data. Right. So you can do this, for example, with a CDP, a customer data platform. Which enables you to build a 360 view of your customer, which helps you to really understand your customer, and it also helps you to connect all of your channels to deliver a seamless experience across those channels. Right. So while Sitecore CDP is a platform that can help you glue those channels together. It of course starts with your process and your people, right? So, it needs to be driven by an organizational change to become that experience-driven organization, and Sitecore CDP can fit into that to enable the technology to connect those channels to each other. Right, so let's look at a example of a customer journey in which Sitecore CDP and Smart Hub can power this experience together. Right, so we see a anonymous user on our platform that is looking for flights to Nice in France. And we don't know a lot about this particular user. Only that they're using an iPhone to enter our website, and maybe their location based on their IP address. So based on that location, we know that this visitor is coming from Boston. And prior to this, we did some experimentation with visitors from Boston. And we noticed that visitors from Boston are more likely to actually book that flight when to the Côte d'Azur when they see photos of pristine beaches rather than, for example, museums. Right, so we are personalizing the content as well. So we're showing a photo, a banner of a beautiful beach. To this user, and then this user selects an actual flight and enters an email address, right? So based on that, we can use this email address to connect it to the customer data profile, and that customer data profile is connected to our internal CRM system, and based on that, we know that this user is actually Jane Murphy. And Jane Murphy has a high lifetime value. She has booked many flights with us before, and many of those flights were also business class fare, right? So based on that, we now have a full understanding of what Jane might actually be interested in. So based on that, we can, for example, send her a personalized offer for a 75% of an upgrade to business class. But yeah, at that point she left off. Maybe the phone rang and she forgot about the flight for a while. So then we can actually send her an email, because we now know who Jane was, we know her activity and what she was interested in, and we can actually send her an email with the flight that she was that she had selected before. So right, so at some point she's still not sure about booking the flight, so she is actually calling to our customer service hotline, and the customer service representative is now able to look up her profile and see the flight that she was interested in. Maybe even you can pull up the offer as well. So eventually Jane did book the flight. And eventually she arrived 2 hours early at the airport, and we can know that using the mobile app that she already installed, and we can send her a push notification that she can redeem 2 free glasses of champagne at the business class lounge. Right, so this is really an example of how all those channels that, for example, in an airline, that can come together and really, offer this seamless experience across all of these channels, with the right context, and really, focusing on that experience that this customer is experiencing. Yeah. Right. So this is all powered by Sitecore CDP. Right, so Sitecore CDP consists out of a CDP using customer profiles that contain a 360 view of your customer, and we can do segmentation on that as well. And then we have the smart features, which is digital decisioning, leveraging AI and internal data systems. And experimentation and optimization to find out what kind of experiences are, for example, converting better, and how can we push more. How can we optimize our conversion rates from our customers. And then we have the hub, which is orchestrating that experience through personalization, and had to deliver to really combine all of these features together. Had to deliver real-time personalization based on the data and the decisioning that you are doing. Right. So then we have 2 different types of experiences within the platform. Right. So first of all, we have web experiences. And this is where you can add components or messaging to a website, and this can be any website as long as that website has the Sitecore CDP JavaScript client. Right, so this way you can, for example, add something like a pop-up, or you can add like a banner, or you can even show a form to sign up for a newsletter, for example, or show a personalized offer. Right, and then we have interactive experiences, and this is more if you want to integrate it with external systems, with other channels. Right, so this is really for your omni-channel personalization. So this can be, for example, if you want to personalize business logic within an external system, or you want to personalize an experience within a mobile app, for example. Right, so this is really for your omni-channel personalization. Right, so then we can create new experiences, and we can publish them in very little time. We can use templates, right? So we can either use the out-of-the-box templates that Sitecore CDP comes with, or we can create custom templates using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then for interactive experiences, we can choose between interactive experiences or triggered experiences. Right, so the difference is where the interactive experiences are in real time, whereas triggered experiences are really based on particular actions. Right, so this can be, for example, opening a mobile app, for example, or or filling out a form, or buying. Hey, so you can, for example, connect your POS system that someone is buying a product in store, and then on the mobile app, for example, you can send a push notification, to ask for a review or a rating, for example. Right, so this is really where you can respond to particular actions. And yeah, this is it's a little bit more technical, but this is what an interactive experience look like. So this is where you can, for example, expose data and content to external channels, with personalized data. All right, so this is the dashboard from Sitecore CDP. Right, so on the left hand side here, we can see the customer data, which is the CDP. Here we can find our customer profiles, our segments. Right, so that is something that we will discuss in a different video. So for today, we will look at experiences here. So over here we can see two options here. So we can see web and we can see full stack. Right, so web is web experiences, as explained earlier, and full stack is the same as the interactive experiences. Right, so let's first look at web experiences. So over here we can see all of our experiences. Right, so this can potentially be from multiple websites. And here we can see, for example, a few in draft here. So those are the ones that are created but not yet published. Or maybe someone is still editing that. Here we can see we can see one here that is scheduled, right? So this can be some experience that is that will be published in the future, and we can see a few here in live mode, which are currently published and actively used by visitors on our website. So for now, I'm gonna create a new experience. And I'm gonna call this CNY sale 2022. Create. And so now I created the experience, but I still need to create a variant, right? So a variant is for example a component, or something like a pop-up, or something like a top bar, something that we can add to our website, and we can have up to 4 different variations, right? So you can alternate between variants within an experience. Right, so you can, for example, show different content, or show different images, or different look and feel of that experience. Right, so I can either create new templates if I have the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that I want to use. I can do so. For now, I'm gonna stick to the out of the box ones. So I'm gonna create a corner pop-up here. And over here, I can first of all preview that experience. So this is what it will look like for a visitor right now. And I can edit, the look and feel and the content of the experience here. So, I'm gonna add a image URL here. And I'm gonna add a title here. and I'm gonna change the description a little bit. And I can also change the buttons here as well. So I can, for example, change close, go to sail, and I'm also going to change the color of the button here. All right, so now I'm quite happy about this. So I am going to save this. All right, so now it's saved. And just for your reference, here we can also do some advanced editing on this experience as well. So we can, for example, change the actual HTML. We can, for example, add particular content in there, or remove some, or we can even change the structure of the component. We can change the CSS as well to change the styling. Here we can change the JavaScript, and we can also even change the API responses, so the data that will be exchanged to the experience. But for now, I'm gonna just stick to the out-of-the-box component. All right, so now I created my experience, and now I can actually preview it, right? So I don't need to publish it to our website yet, but I can already publish it directly within the website, just for my logged in account. Right, so I'm gonna go to the preview tool, and this will actually show the experience. Right, so now I can see my pop-up here. And I can actually preview it without our public visitors seeing this already. And over here we also have a Sitecore CDP QA tool. If we, for example, if the pop-up is not showing for whatever reason, or we want to test, for example, whether it's tracking correctly, we can review that here as well, and it will show if there is something missing, for example. Right, so now we created our experience. We can actually configure it, and we can now start customizing it to our needs. Right, so like I created it just now, the experience will show on any page within a website, and even if we are using it on multiple websites, it will show on every website. Hey, maybe you want to target it to a particular page, or to a particular site, or to a particular audience, for example. Right, so with page targeting, we can specify what are the pages that we want to show this experience on. And so that we can do that by, for example, filtering the URLs. So we can, for example, do contains, so that way it will show on every page that contains this particular URL. So that also maybe sub pages, for example. And we can even do advanced targeting, where we can use more advanced JavaScript to add additional, more complex conditions to that as well. We can also set up segmentations as well. So we can segment the profiles that we have within our CDP, and that way we can filter what are the users that will be seeing our experience. Right. So in this case, for example, we see Australian users as a segment. So if you only want to expose this particular experience to users from Australia, and then you can set up segmentation as well. But it can also be, for example, earlier in the example we showed It is this Jane that had bookings before on business class. So if you can build a segment that shows that customers that have booked a business class flight in the last 2 years, for example. You can build a segment based on that, and then you can use that in your experience. And as I showed earlier, we can preview the experience before we actually publish it. So that way we can first test it out, and we can maybe change some things before we show it to all of the users on the website. And then we can also use goals, right? So we want to, of course, measure the success of our experience. So we can attach goals to particular actions with that experience. Right, so in this case, I showed a pop-up from our Chinese New Year sale. So that can be a goal of that experience. Could be that we intend to let customers buy something, place an order on that sale. So we can attach a goal based on that order. So that way we can measure the performance of our experience. To see how many visitors actually place an order because of that experience, and that also helps you to optimize going further as well. Right, so we have some out of the box goals, but you can also create custom goals. That can be even sort of interactive kind of goals, or you can even do it multi-channel. So even though you show something on the website, you can, for example, measure that on a mobile app or a POS system, right? So a goal can be any sort of action that you want to track across any channel for that particular profile. And then earlier I mentioned that we can have up to 4 different variants. Right, so I created this pop-up, but let's say I want to create a different variant of that. I can have multiple variations, and I can also alternate between those variants. Right, so using the traffic distribution, we can, for example, have one variant that is exposed to 25% of the audience, and another variant 25%, and another variant 25%, and so forth, up to 4 variants. And we can even say that how many variants we have. I only want half of the visitors being exposed, or a particular percentage of the visitors being exposed to that particular experience. Right, so that allows you to set that up using the traffic distribution. And finally, if we want to publish our experience, we can either run it immediately, so we can publish it straight away to all visitors. But in my case, I, for example, created a experience for Chinese New Year, so it makes sense to maybe publish that from the January time frame, for example. Right, so now we're back at my experience, and now we can, for example, create a new variant. Right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy the one that I created earlier, and I'm gonna say variant with lanterns. Right, so I want to create another pop-up. And I want to use a different image this time, right? So I want to see whether, for example, version 1 or version 2 is maybe better for our conversion rate. Right, so I use a different image, and I'm gonna save that. All right, so that is saved, and so now we can see that our new variant has showed up here. So we can have up to 4 of those variants. And over here we can see that variant 1 is showing as 100% of our traffic. And the second variant, variant lanterns, here we only see 0%. So this means that the second variant is not being shown at all. Right, so we can change this. So I can now say distribute evenly, so then it will be 50-50 between those. And over here we also see allocation, and that means our overall traffic that will be exposed. Right, so 100% of all traffic from the website will be exposed to this particular experience, but between the variants, it will be 50-50 distributed. Right, so we can also, for example, set this to 25%, and then only 25% will actually be exposed to this experience, and from the 25%, it will be 50-50 between both variants. All right, so that is now saved. So now I can, for example, preview the experience, and then I will see either of those variants. Right, so now I see the first one, and I can also switch between the second to the second one as well. And now we see our second one. Right, so if I want to set up the segmentation, the audience for this experience, I want to select the type of customer that will actually be exposed to this experience. I can set up the audience for this experience. Right, so using the audience, we can select the segmentation. Right, so this can be a group of customers of your profile or guests, and you can do this based on advanced rules based on the data on their customer data profile. Right, so a segment we can select from here. So these segments are previously created. And are containing are using rules. So an example here is high value customers. Right, so on the high value customers segmentation, here we can find the rules that have been applied to that segment. Right, so in here we can, for example, see that this segmentation is filtering all of the customers within the CDP that has an order value of at least 100. Right, so presumably dollars or the currency you're using. Right, so this way we can use this flexible rules engine to find the customers that you want to target with your experiences. Right, so I'm gonna select that one, and so that's now saved. And let me preview it again. And I didn't spend so much here, so I'm not part of the audience, right? So we can see that our pop-up is not showing. And that's because my user didn't spend that much. And then we can also see here as feedback that that we fall outside of that segmentation and therefore not being exposed to that variant, to that experience. All right, so now I'm gonna remove that again. Oh, sorry. All right. So now if I want to actually start publishing my experience, I can click here on Start. And I can choose between Run Immediately or Schedule. Right, so using a schedule, we can set a date. So for example, in this case, we can set it for January. I believe it's always straight after New Year's Eve. And then until maybe mid February time frame. Right, so then we can specify the start and end date of our experience, and then we can start scheduling it. Right, so now it's publishing, and it will actually show for our on our website during that time frame. Right, and then let's look at an interactive experience. This is where we can do omni-channel personalization. Right, so this can span across, for example, backend or business logic or internal data systems, or you can use this, for example, for your mobile apps as well. Right, so that you can use this for omni-channel personalization. Right, so in this case, we have a experience in which we have a variant, and that variant, instead of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, so something that we would show on a website, we have here a dynamic API response. Right, so these API responses are something that can be used by any system that can interpret this data. Right, so this way we can give dynamic personalized data to any channel. Right, so in this case, this can be, for example, a mobile app, or this can be in customer service system, or any system that can use this data. Right, so then we can also, of course, measure the success of our experiences, and that's something we can do through the performance and the operational report. Right, so using these reports, we can first of all see how many visitors are actually using our experience, what kind of variant is exposed to them, and how are they interacting with those experiences. And more importantly, we can also see how many of those are actually converting through that. Right, so remember, previously I already mentioned about goals, and using these goals, we can actually quantify them in our performance report, so that we can actually see how many of those goals are triggered through any sort of channel. And that way we can align that with our digital KPIs to see how our experiences are performing and where we can optimize them. Right, so to summarize the business value of Sitecore CDP experiences is that it really provides true omnichannel experiences. Right, so I've built this web experience in a few minutes, and that significantly reduces the time to market, because you can, as a marketer, you are able to publish a web experience in very little time, without any dependency on the technology or development or release life cycles, right? So you can publish this in real time, right? And for interactive experiences, you can combine all of those channels. You can use Sitecore CDP as the centerpiece for all of those channels, to extend that experience across every channel, and to really create seamless experiences for your customers. Right, and how we do that backed by the data that you have about your customers, right? So using the Sitecore customer data profiles, we can understand the customer, and we can make real-time decisions on what is the next best action that we can serve to that customer. And we can do smart decisioning using AI or your internal data systems to really combine all of the data that we have about your customer, and to really understand what is the best offer that we can serve to your customer, had to, of course, increase the conversion rate on your on your products and services. And finally, we can do one-on-one communication with your customers. So we can respond in real time to actions from your customers, and we can send personalized and relevant context to your customers. So if you want to learn more about Sitecore CDP, then go to our documentation site. So our documentation site is a comprehensive library of guides and user documentation about Sitecore CDP. And it would help you at least to get an understanding of how you work with the platform, and had the breadth of the features that it will provide for you. So our documentation site is on documentation.boxeffort.com/docs. And you can also learn more about the other features of Sitecore CDP. So we have both a video about the CDP in particular, and Sitecore CDP as a platform as a general overview on our Sitecore in 300 seconds video hub. So you can scan this QR code, and then you will be redirected to that portal. And finally, if you want to get in touch with me, feel free to send an email to me on the email address on the screen. And then I want to thank you so much for watching.